Hi, I'm Nora Sophia. Do you enjoy when you're having a conversation with someone and they're really listening to you? Do you enjoy being heard? Do you enjoy being heard to be heard, not to have somebody defend their position, or, as I say sometimes, to listen to you so they can prosecute? That is not any fun, and those conversations I would rather not be having. But when someone is totally captivated and they are listening and they are nodding and then they ask you questions about it, well, those are conversations we want to have. And I'm wondering if you've noticed that there is maybe somebody very close to you that you don't give the time of day like that to. This is the person that is trying to shout at you all the time and you just kind of walk on by and you go about doing other things. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about your inner person, your body, and your body's wisdom. So I'll give you an example. Today is an interesting day for a lot of people. Today is a day that there are many children who are returning to school. And in that moment, we are faced with the reality that our reality is changing. It's changing quickly. We've all had to shift. We've all had to recreate parts of our lives and parts of ourselves. And this is an unprecedented time of so much coming at us so quickly. So what if you were a parent who had a child going back to school today, and maybe you waited with your child at the bus stop, and maybe when that bus came, there was just something different about that time because, in years past, you would probably let them go to the bus stop on their own and get on that bus and just go off to school. But now we have to stop and think about the social distancing. You have to stop and think, well, how close are other children going to be to my child? Is my child going to be okay on the way to school? How are they going to protect themselves for 8 hours a day when I've been protecting them for the past few months for 8 hours a day? And it can create and conjure up in us a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety. Maybe there's a situation where you're on the phone with your spouse and the company is having to shift because of COVID, maybe. And your lives are about to be uprooted and moved to another city. You would be experiencing internal dialogue there too. Maybe you're talking to a sister who has been able to collect the extra pandemic unemployment. Well, all that's run out. She still doesn't have a job. Things are moving quickly. Are we prepared? That can be one of the things that goes through our head, right? Within us, our body is trying to tell us something. With all those situations, we may respond different. And here's the other thing. Maybe you're in a situation where you've been trying to get pregnant with your spouse and you're pregnant. There is joy that comes with that too. There is excitement, and your body is trying to communicate that to you. Maybe you have your son or daughter coming home from wherever they live in another state and visiting for the first time, and you get to finally see them. There is that moment where you finally reconnect and you get to hug for the first time in a long time. Well, these are all things that we're going through. These are all things that our body is experiencing with our mind and our heart. And if we don't pay attention to the cues that come from within our body, we miss opportunities to learn about ourselves. We miss opportunities to transform with all the changes happening in life. And if we don't listen to that inner part of us, if we ignore it, it's like somebody talking. It's like us having this conversation with someone and nothing's going on important, so I'm just going to walk on by. And that would be rude. Why are we rude to ourselves? Instead of listening to what these body cues are telling us, instead of wondering about it further, with anxiety, ask yourself, have I felt this way before? Why is this coming up now? And what exactly is my body going through? with joy, the important thing about joyful moments is holding on to them so that we experience sort of that welling up in our chest of excitement. Maybe there's butterflies happening, whatever it is. And we get to commit that to our neural pathways so that we get to hold on to those moments of joy longer. But all of this is about being a great listener to our body's wisdom. I hope you got something out of this. I hope it made sense. And I look forward to talking with you all again very soon. I'm Nora Sophia.